So I thought I'd take a break from reviewing Tangled, the series, and Big Hero 6, the series. I will be back next week to reviewing them on a regular basis. Even though I've taken a couple weeks off of Big Hero 6, the series. That's just because that show's not that interesting to talk about. I still want to, but I gotta talk about one of my favorite movies and one of my least favorite movie sequels ever made, Jaws. So tomorrow I will, or pretty soon I will be discussing Jaws 3 and 4. I'm not really sure how or when I'm going to get to it. I know that I'll put them into a joint video like this. Jaws is, of course, a classic. I have the lenticular edition here of the 4K, which I love, this edition. Love this edition. It's got this in there, but you got this lenticular edition with the booklet. I think this edition is very limited and isn't going to be around much longer, so if you want this one, go out and get it. I know there's like a standard one that you can get, but this is the main one. I love that one. And then, I've got the 3-movie Blu-ray collection because the sequels were never released on 4K for good reason. So, there's 4 Jaws movies, and Jaws is obviously an important movie to cinema history. I don't think I'll ever do this movie justice, but I do want to talk about this movie because I really, really love and appreciate this movie a lot. I think most people who love movies do. The only people I see dissing on Jaws nowadays is younger people who don't understand Jaws. And what I mean by that is because they're so used to how shark movies are now that they think that Jaws is a bad movie because it's not like other shark movies, when really it's the other way around. Newer shark movies are bad because they're not like Jaws. Like, there's obvious things that are great about Jaws. The performances, the direction from Steven Spielberg, the cinematography, how iconic a lot of the sequences are, things like that. But when we look at this movie, the main complaint you hear from people who don't like this movie, and I mostly hear this complaint from younger people, which is that it's boring. Jaws is a boring movie because there's not enough shark. Which I think is bullcrap. Because, yes, there was not enough shark. Now, let's get the obvious away. The production issues. The shark was a very hard thing to use. They had to use practical effects for the shark. It isn't like nowadays where it's super easy. So they couldn't even show the shark how many times they originally planned for it. So there would have been more in the movie, yes, if they had gotten the shark to work. But this movie also does a great job of fixing that issue with amazing pacing and writing. There are sequences in this movie that seem really, really stupid and boring if you're not watching them from the correct perspective, I would say. There's the sequence where Brody's on the beach after the first victim of the shark was killed, and they refused to close the beaches because, of course, the beach is, money brings so much money to the town. It's a very iconic part of the movie Jaws. But when you watch that sequence, there's all these people talking to him, and you see him looking over and, and looking over and all that. In the context of the scene, it seems like it's going on too long. Like, there's these conversations that he's having with people that don't really go anywhere or do anything. But in my mind, that's expert filmmaking. Because you don't think about that because most people watch the movie are just engaging in the scene, and you don't really think about that fact. The scene is so good because because of the tension that is built from these conversations that don't go anywhere. Every second, Brody's not interested in the conversation. He's trying to look out for the shark, and he's trying to get in there and kind of see what's going on while these people are talking to him. It's an expert building of tension that is beautiful. And there's just so much expert filmmaking here, from the writing to the direction, all that, from so many great people involved with this movie. It's just so good. It's an incredible film, And it has incredible pacing, incredible dialogue, incredible characters, everything that feels natural. The only thing that I think feels a little unnatural is that a lot of the dialogue and talking, it's kind of hard to hear from it because it's kind of like recorded a little bit awkward. But I think that doesn't really matter. This movie is a timeless movie. And if you want this movie to have more kills, then you're looking for a movie without substance. And I think that's the thing about most shark movies nowadays. There is no substance to them. It is just the brutal kills. And I'm not saying that you can't enjoy something like that. There are plenty of movies that I enjoy that are just brutal kills. But, like, it doesn't have, like, the bite to it. And excuse the pun, but that's kind of what it is. Like, it doesn't have, like, the energy, the love, the passion, the filmmaking. It's just a matter of, like, ooh, cool shark kills. And I think that misunderstands greatly what the point of Jaws was. The point of Jaws was not this, like, amazing, high and incredible filmmaking from so many people involved. Sorry, the camera was not keep picking up that good of an angle of me. So I decided to move it. But, you know, I think that's an expert piece of filmmaking. This is an incredible movie. If you've never seen Jaws, you need to. And if you are someone who's found it really boring the first time, I encourage you to rewatch it and maybe look at it from the perspective that I shared with you today. I'm not saying that, not asking you to change your opinion or anything. Like, I'm just saying that maybe you might change your perspective. So let's talk about Jaws 2, because I'm just going to review both. There's 4 movies, so I'm going to review both of them in one video. Jaws 2 is Jaws again. And I think Jaws 2 really keyed me into what makes Jaws so special. Like, I watched Jaws, and every scene I was engaged, I was amazed. And none of this movie I was engaged and amazed because it's just a weaker version of Jaws. And it's like Jaws without the passion, the filmmaking, the expert techniques and things like that. Just nothing here felt like, yes, this is phenomenal filmmaking, and it really hurt it. I think that's why I don't care for Jaws 2. I think the other sequels are better. Now, obviously, Jaws the Revenge is the worst Jaws sequel, but I think if you look at Jaws 2, it is just the most forgettable. And I think forgettable is worse than, like, Jaws the Revenge, because you don't, once you see it, you don't really forget how awful of a movie that is. You don't really forget stupid taglines in the movie, like, this time, it's personal, you know? And I think this movie is phenomenal. It's phenomenally forgettable, and I think Jaws is perfect, and I think that's my thought on Jaws 1 and 2. Subscribe to the channel if you like me reviewing classic movies like Jaws and its sequels.